Scorpio, hey, what is going on? Welcome into the channel. So happy to have you here always. My name is Deborah, owner of Purusha Holistic Wellness, and this is another episode of Purusha Intuitive, where we're going to look at your energy for the next week or so via the tarot, astrology, any channeled messages that come through. And I'll also incorporate Ayurvedic or holistic wellness practices that we can implement to really help honor, support our mind, body, and soul. So let's get into it. I hope that you are doing well today. We're wrapping up Cancer season. We're about to move into Leo season. Mercury is going to go direct this week as well. Whoop, whoop. But then Saturn goes into retrograde. So we still have a couple planets, outer planets in retrograde, which deal a lot with our spiritual growth and evolution. And as I was meditating on your energy, preparing for this reading, I was really hearing this aspect. Don't hate me for saying this, but just to wait. Sorry. We've had a lot of waiting energy in the astrology, but I'm hearing this as more of a patience in the process, that the waiting is actually allowing you to connect with self on a deeper level. The challenges that you're coming into right now feel unfair. That's what I'm hearing. It's like stuff that either you feel like you've already worked through or you've overcome, or there's something about it where it's like, I thought we were done and over with this. I thought I healed through this or whatever, or made my life better, and things are popping up again just to kind of, I think, gauge where we're at, gauge and see like how far you've come, where your confidence has strengthened, and places that it might need a little bit more TLC. It's not negative. It's so easy to take the challenges and the hardships as negative things, to take them personally, when in fact, maybe it is a personal thing, but it's actually to help us to grow and to evolve and be better versions of ourselves. And that's what I'm picking up with this waiting energy, Scorpio, is that it's not a punishment. It's not a penalization. If anything, it's allowing you to strengthen your foundation that much more, whatever that means for you, your foundation of self, who you are, how you integrate, show up into your life, and what kind of people you're attracting as a result, people and situations. The train horn is going off in the background as I'm saying that. I feel like it's such a huge thing that we need to be aware of moving forward, who and what we're dealing with and why, and how that actually is affecting our life positively or negatively. And things have been popping up in Cancer season that definitely highlight the disconnects. Our emotions have been a great guidance system, especially in those places where we might feel a little uncertain, but then things are provoking us in a way that don't feel very comfortable, or that feel a little all too familiar, patterns, like I was saying, that we've been trying to work out of. That's also why I like to start my readings off with an energy cleansing, just to set the tone, set the vibe for the reading, cleanse out those places we might be coming into some blocks, limitations. You can totally skip ahead if it's not your vibe, and you'll still receive the blessing always, but I do list the chapters down below. It's also a really good time to set your own intention as well, especially if you have come in with something on your heart, on your mind, something that you would like Spirit to deliver messages to you around. Definitely give that over. Be open to receive. It really is a great way to personalize these collective readings. I also do personal readings. I offer a variety of healing and wellness services, and readings are one of them. If you want me to look at your specific situation, how it's faring, where it's headed, or if you are interested in more of that rebalancing of self, alignment of your mind, your body, your soul, I do pranic energy healing as well as Ayurvedic or holistic wellness consultations. Because when we are aligned in self, that's really where we know how to just honor, nurture, support ourselves. It's where we're able to tap into our happiness and our fulfillment. And I would totally love to help support that in whatever way for you. Definitely hit me up, Scorpio. All the info to get into contact with me is in the description box below. I'm currently working on my website. It should be up and running this summer. But until then, just shoot me an email and I would love to connect. All right, with that, Scorpio, let's get into it. This is a little slow moving. That's okay. Par for the course. I bless you with pure love and light, pure source energy, pure loving grace. I release anything that is not for your highest and best. Any fears, doubts, insecurities, lack of worth, lack of value, pain, anger, frustration, impatience, overwhelm. Cleanse it and release it from our being so we may see and understand the messages clearly and help to make me a clear and open channel for the collective. Thank you, Father God, Spirit guides, guardian angels, Mama love. Okay. So I am picking up an energy of defeat for you this week, or maybe walking into a week. This week is a better way to say it, because I was hearing along with that energy of waiting or being patient in the process, there might be some things that you're internalizing as though it's problems with you or deficits within you. And yes, and I talk about this a lot at the channel, there's always things that we can do to kind of help ourselves grow, evolve, be better versions of ourselves. Yes. But this is more taking something personally that's not really yours to take on. And it feels to me, well, especially with this creators and the overarching energy, what I was going to say is I'm picking up like you might be taking on other people's emotions, feelings, projections. And this is specifically in places where there already are deficits. If you've been in a long-term relationship environment, this feels like patterns that have already been set into place that are having a hard time changing, are having a hard time healing, and helping to mend the situation. Like I'm picking up this energy of you feeling, and more energetically than anything, it might be on the not physical, but on the emotional level, but it feels like a lot of back and forth. It feels like a lot of back and forth, like a little bit of whiplash. You're not really sure where to settle your mind or your thoughts, because everything does feel a little bit all over the place. And it feels counterintuitive as well, because it's showing that like you've worked really hard to kind of get something in order, in line, up and running. You've worked really hard to catch something, and it feels like you have. It feels like you have, but it might also be like the quality of what you've caught is not quite there. It's that thing of when we are like, we want something so bad and then we get it and it's not as awesome as what we thought it was going to be. That's how this feels. But I don't know that you're seeing it as that. It feels like whatever this is, you're internalizing it as though it's some type of deficit within yourself. It's something that you need to be better at, or there's a reason why someone or something does not respond or engage in the way that you want them to. This might be a place of comfort for you as well. We've, in the past readings, the past week or so, we've been getting a lot of stuff that's been coming up around healing those underlying patterns, whether you want to call them, patterns that have been passed down from generations, family lineage, that type of thing, ancestral patterning, or if this is just more things that you have learned within your life. Coping mechanisms is what I want to say. We still are in Mercury retrograde. I apologize. Some of them could be healthy, but some of them can and not that I feel I'm picking up this energy of things that protect you. It's self-protection. And so we want to be really mindful with that stuff, because we don't want to let it put us into a position where we end up hurting ourselves long-term, where we don't really want to look at anything too close, because it is going to change things up. And that's kind of what it feels like you're dealing with. I don't think you're inflexible to change. I'm not seeing that. I'm just seeing that an idea, a hope, a desire, a fantasy, how you wanted something to look versus what it's actually looking like present day are very different things. And that's where it feels a little bit more overwhelming, or like, what should I do? How should I handle this? Of course, the microscope is in the blocked energy. So that just confirms a lot of what I was saying of not looking too deep at something or someone, because it's not fun. It's not fun. The sun moves into Leo. Leo really likes to be front and center. Leo loves the energy of me. And that's not a bad thing, right? We all need to have that in our life. But when things aren't going according to our plans, that's where things can feel a little bit difficult or raw. Or it's like, okay, you can't just keep fantasizing that this is the way something is, when in reality, it looks like the deficits are constantly showing up, or they're presenting themselves. And again, in this way, it's not like you're doing something. It might be the energy that you're getting back towards you, but it feels very much like no matter how hard you try to make something good, try to make something comfortable, try to make something be your source of safety, it's just not. And instead of doing a little investigating, bringing some awareness to the present to help you understand, it's easier to just kind of turn a blind eye. In Ayurveda, this is connected with Sadhaka Pitta, which Pitta is our transformation principle. It's when we're able to like receive information and then transform it into either usable nutrients or into waste. And Sadhaka Pitta is connected with our heart and the fulfillment of our desires. And when we're not feeling fulfilled in the life that we're living, it's very easy to turn a blind eye or give someone something a hall pass. But like I said, it looks like you can't really avoid or escape this. Like whatever spirit is trying to convey to you, whatever information spirit's trying to get you to understand, it feels like it keeps coming over and over and over again. Like you can't avoid it. And like I said, it doesn't look like you're inflexible. It doesn't look like you're so attached to this thing that you're unwilling to move. If anything, you're willing, but like you don't want to work too hard is maybe how I see it. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. Scorpio, I get it. We're coming off of water season. Water makes us feel a lot of things. You are a water sign. So it might feel a little bit overwhelming at this point. And then we also have a lot in retrograde, which unfortunately, it does like slow things down, but it also highlights places that we need to make changes in our own life, especially with this Saturn going into retrograde. It's not necessarily going to let us get away with things or skeet by, you know. Yes, there might be a little bit of that, but if anything, it's more beneficial to be very honest with self and where things are at present day so that we can do something about it, so that we don't stay stuck in something too long when it's not really serving. And that's how the environment is coming up for you with this 10 of Swords. 10 of Swords in your environment, and you're coming through as the Strength card. So it's, again, there are things that are happening right now that are like, I don't know, it's not a warning because it doesn't feel like something that's going to hurt you. It doesn't feel like you have to be cautious of this thing, but it feels like this is not what you want. And Spirit's like flashing the red lights of like, it's not danger, but it's more just like, are you sure you want this? Are you sure you want to go in? The shop is open, but are you sure you want to go in? That type of vibe. And it looks like whomever, whatever you're dealing with, I don't know, like it doesn't feel like that great of an energy. Again, it might be a situation that you feel really comfortable in, but you're also starting to see a lot of the disconnects. And I think the disconnects are putting you into this space of 5 of Cups, which makes a lot of sense. This is when we feel really disappointed about how things have gone. The tagline in the original tarot is crying over spilt milk. It's when we're so focused on the past that we forget to invest in the future and what other opportunities still lay in front of us. And that's exactly what this energy feels like. So it's like when you're realizing some of the stuff that's happening, it feels sad, there's grief, there's some pain that is associated with it. And like I said, whomever, whatever you're dealing with isn't really going out of their way to try to make things better. It's very simple. It's a very, it's a very like simple offer. It's not a lot of promise. It's not a lot of like, if anything, it might even be this thing where you don't even know where you stand because the energy exchange is very, someone's withholding or not wanting to invest too much. And so you can feel that pullback of energy. And maybe even more so a little bit, I'll clarify what this 10 of Swords is all about. I don't know why someone feels like, oh, I've done it again. That's what I'm hearing. So someone feels like they put themselves in a vulnerable situation yet again. We have the World, so cycles closing out. The World and the Fool. You can't get any more clear than that. And I feel like a lot of this is happening based on whatever opportunities you're kind of launching yourself into this week, or wherever you're trying to explore, network, kind of go beyond your normal wheelhouse. It looks like you have something like it's directly lining with closing out this chapter, with closing out a chapter in a way that, I don't know, it will be interesting to see whether this is expected or anticipated. It doesn't really look like that. It doesn't look like that, but we'll see. The High Priestess. Okay, let's do some clarification. There might be a little bit of hiding as well. Like it feels like what's not being said. There's a lot of information in what's not being said. But I also am not really seeing anyone talk about things. Like it feels like maybe someone has something to say to you, but they're not approaching you. And you could perhaps approach them. Hey, is everything okay? What's going on? Blah, blah, blah. I don't know that you would get an honest answer. It feels very surface. Like there is a lot of self-protection going on right now in terms of no one wants to upset the apple cart, but eventually the apple cart is going to get upset. And we're seeing this as things progress a little bit more. Maybe not this week, things are going to happen. But like I said, it does really look like you're bringing in opportunities that, like, I don't know if you care about a lot. It feels like things you're just doing in your spare time, or like, well, I might as well. With some level of awareness around whatever this is, knowing that you need to do this on some level. Because, like I said, no one wants to upset the apple cart, so there is this level of, like, nothing's really happening quite yet, but it's always, like, on the horizon. Like, this feels like this is something you can't ever be certain of. You can never kind of just, like, oh, this is committed, we're committed to each other or whatever. Like, I can kind of just, like, rest and be at peace and I don't have to worry. Like, it feels like you're always on your toes around something. And maybe it is just a little bit of paranoia that puts you in this place of figuring out what else is available to you. But it ends up paying off, to be honest. And I'm not even really sure that you're ever going to look at this thing or situation too deeply, because, again, I don't know that there would be honest conversation. That's what it feels like. This energy over here is trying to save face, and your energy is like, I have no idea what's going on, or I don't know why this isn't feeling right. Like, I have it. It looks like you have everything set up in order. It feels good, but something still feels off, and it's coming a lot from this energy. This energy is very hard on themselves, very judgmental, maybe even judgmental of you, maybe not trying to project that judgment onto you, because there is this value of them trying to rein themselves in, not get too emotional. But there are some things that are, like, making them very emotional. I feel like someone's having a really hard time putting language to what they think, to what they feel. And they do withdraw their energy. Like, it looks like they kind of, instead of, like, let's have an adult conversation about what's going on or how this made me feel, or can we talk about this thing? It's more like, this thing happens and then I'm going to recluse. That's how this energy is coming up that you're dealing with. So you're never really going to know, like I said. And I don't even think that they're looking at the dynamic like they need to say anything. It feels a little bit more like they'd rather just keep it under wraps and see how things continue to evolve. Like, this might be someone also who's, like, feeling like they're being too paranoid or too judgmental. Like, they might be doing a lot of self-criticism as well, because we do have the World card coming out of this. So there's something that they're doing, but then they're trying to also wrangle things in. But I feel like whatever interaction that's happening between you two, like, it's just hard to know. That's what I keep coming with. It's just hard to understand what the reality of this dynamic is. And therefore, it doesn't feel very safe, or it's keeping you in this place where you always have to bust your butt, work really hard. You're never quite sure where you stand. And then it just feels a little weird and awkward. But something comes in that, like, brings you a sense of freedom. And I feel like this is a really good thing. And it looks like once this thing of, like, freedom, or just something that kind of gives you a little pep in your step, it helps you not feel so beholden by whatever this is. It helps you feel like, oh, well, maybe I wasn't wrong. You know, maybe I was being a little too crazy about thinking it was about me, when in fact, it's like you can see, you know, it's like when we step away from a situation and we can see, like, the truth of it that much more clearly. When we're in it, when we're in the middle of it, it's hard to differentiate between who's who and what's what. And that's what I was picking up in the very beginning, right? Someone, like, you're kind of like picking up someone else's energy and maybe even feeling like it is yours. So it does look like there is some awareness that ends up coming out of this, which I think is a good thing. It's a good thing. It does reorient how everyone is looking at the situation, meaning you're getting some, like, it looks like whatever difficulties, whatever impasse there is, it needs to follow this certain timeline in order for things to make more sense for everyone involved, right? Because it looks like you're doing something for yourself that helps you, just period. And then this energy is going to see that and be like, oh my gosh, wait a second, Scorpio. Like, I don't want you. You know, it's like they might be backtracking. They might become a little bit more open, candid, vulnerable with their conversations, honest. It does, like I said, it does feel like this is a dynamic that has already been set into place, set into stone. So there's always going to be credits and deficits with whatever we're dealing with, right? And I think that there are some difficulties. To me, this is like not putting all your eggs in one basket, or not locking yourself into something that you don't have freedom and flexibility with, or you're always guessing where you stand with someone. I feel like at the end of the day, you're appreciated and that's understood, but it does, either there's a little bit of jealousy, or there's someone begrudgingly identifying that for you. Like, it's like they don't want to give you credit, or they're a little bit in this victim mentality, like my life is harder than yours, or, you know, whatever. There's just a disconnect in terms of who's who and what's what. But it does end up coming back around, radiate your light. And that can be a really hard thing to do when we're uncertain on what people think or feel about us. Radiating your light. Like, we can't control how people see us, right? But what you can control is how you show up for yourself, whether or not you're going to dim your light for someone else. And it looks like it's easy to do that in this kind of dynamic, especially if you're trying to people please, or you're on the end of being more subservient to someone. Maybe you are comfortable in that, or, you know, you're just always trying to make someone happy. But really, like, I don't know. I know this is a little annoying, and maybe annoying for this person when I say this, but it's like the best thing you can do for them is be yourself, because the more authentic you are in yourself, the more it allows someone else to be authentic within them. And a lot of whatever's going on for them internally is their own pain. It's their own struggle within self, and it really doesn't have anything to do with you. It's someone's inability to communicate and whatever, and that's okay. It's hard to do that in life, but we can overcome. We can overcome the limitations. We can overcome the limitations and be aware of them, so we're not pouring salt in the wound, but also be aware of them so we can rise above and be better than what the limitations are offering us. Because I feel like it's either like you keep yourself stuck in this, or you can find other resources for opportunity, and that's going to change the game that much more. And I feel like it feels way more positive, way more hopeful at the end of the reading than at the beginning. The beginning, it just felt like, oh shoot, nothing's ever going to change. It's going to be like this. But the end of the reading, it feels like someone's seeing that they don't want to lose you or the dynamic. It's more precious to them. Maybe they haven't been giving it the right amount of love and care, i.e. places that, like, back to that original message where establishing your self-love and care is just that much more, it's powerful, it's important, it's needed. And that's kind of why you're venturing through some of this. Embrace the change. Don't be afraid of the change. Spirit has your back. That's the other side of it. And I think you're going to see that. You're going to see that with whatever this slingshot energy is for you. Whatever things that you're actually trying to, whatever you're kind of throwing out there to see what you get, you know, casting your net, see what comes in. I feel like you're going to be surprised in a good way, in a positive way. And that's actually what helps someone kind of like shape up really quickly, because they learn really quickly that you're not just there for forever. You know, sometimes people get too used to our energy, too comfortable. We got to keep it a little bit fun and exciting and adventurous and mysterious at times. And that's exactly what this looks like you're doing this week, Scorpio. So thank you so much for your time, energy, always. I hope you enjoyed the reading. I hope you found messages that resonated for you here. Definitely drop comments below if you did. I love to hear, or just connect, sharing a little love, little TLC. It also totally helps out the channel, as I'm sure you know. I so appreciate all the love, all the support to the channel. No, it blesses my heart. I will be live tomorrow morning, so stay tuned, and I hope you have a fabulous day, fabulous week. Talk soon.